Hey guys, happy Friday and time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This morning I started the day off playing around with some Porsche parts, so a little Porsche content today. I had previously partially disassembled one of the 40 IDAs for the car and didn't really get any further than that, trying to figure out how I was going to clean it. And I didn't think that the bodies would fit in my little bitty ultrasonic cleaner, but lo and behold, they actually fit. And what I ended up doing was took out the basket, and you're not supposed to set anything like directly on the bottom of these, because I think the ultrasonic crystals are somehow like attached to the bottom of it, and they transmit the ultrasonic waves through the solution from the bottom of the tank. So what I did was I basically put a rod across here, and I suspended the carburetor body by some wires. So it was fully submerged, but not touching the bottom. And but with the basket in there, it wouldn't really fit. The last, like little, I don't know, quarter inch or whatever that the basket takes up on the width in this direction, it just wouldn't quite fit. But once I pulled that out and had the idea to suspend it in there, boom, it worked good. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it came out. The solution that I'm using is one that I like a lot. It's called Master Stages Clean 2020, and I mix this stuff about 10%. This stuff. Here's my little cheat sheet that I put on here. So this is what I fill my little ultrasonic cleaner with. But yeah, no, so I probably had this thing in there. So, again, I had it fully disassembled. So the bottom, which was the worst part of it, I probably had this thing in there for a total of maybe like 45 minutes. It was in there for a while because honestly, this carburetor was worse than this one. This one looks pretty bad. All that dark nastiness that you see there, this one probably had, I don't know, like almost twice that much. It was a lot worse for whatever reason. I guess maybe it was a little leakier than this one was. But nonetheless, and it's not like that much more work to put it in longer. You just hit the button again and let it do its thing and then check it when it's done. And so after a few 15-minute cycles like that, then I was very happy with how it looked. And so went ahead and rinsed it off and pretty much did the other pieces. So the top wasn't nearly as bad and came out really nice as well. And then I did all the assorted hardware and jets and stuff like that. So this carburetor is pretty much ready to put back together. So now I need to get off my butt and order some rebuild kits for it. I hadn't been in a hurry because I hadn't quite figured out what I was going to do to clean this thing. I thought I was going to have to use Dave Griner over at Performance. He's got a much larger size ultrasonic cleaner. Again, I didn't think there was any way that it was going to fit in mine, but lo and behold, it did. Now it's clean. Now I need some rebuild kits. So yeah, there you go. So I may even come in tomorrow because now I'm all excited about getting this thing going and tackle this one. So completely disassemble it and then go through the same process in the ultrasonic cleaner. And so need to start working on this Porsche some, get this thing going. I think pretty much it needs the carburetors gone through and rebuilt, and I'll replace all the fuel lines. Take a look in the gas tank, which I'm a little afraid to because I'm afraid it's pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So hopefully it won't be too bad to get it going. So messed around with that a little bit off and on today. But the main thing that I did was continued on the Beetle back here. So yesterday I connected the axles to the suspension, the spring plates. And then today I went ahead and built the brakes all out here so you can see them looking all pretty. It's almost too bad that they don't show once the drums go on because they look pretty bitchin'. I like the way brakes look when they're all freshly rebuilt with new clean parts and stuff like that. But yeah, so built the brakes up on both sides, put the rear shocks on, cleaned up a little bit under here. This car is pretty dirty. I don't think it's ever been painted up underneath here or really cleaned thoroughly, but you know, I wiped it down a little bit. But the other thing that I did was yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I'd taken his camber compensator and cleaned it and painted it and stuff like that. So today I actually installed it on the car and really happy with how it's looking up underneath there. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better from under here. The light facing the right. Yeah, so there we go. So there it is. Looks very cool, and it'll improve the safety and handling of this car, which sits at stock height. So I think these are actually really important for stock height cars, especially if they have radial tires. If they have bias ply tires, probably not as big a deal because I don't know that they even have enough traction for the outside wheel to roll under. I think they just slide, but I never tried to get one of my cars that's stock height with bias ply tires to roll over to flip, and I don't want to find out, but yeah, this will definitely improve the handling and safety of this car, and it's a super bitchin' vintage accessory here. So there you go. You don't see those too often. So did that, got that installed, went ahead and installed his throw-out bearing, got that all in, cleaned up and painted his drums, and cleaned and sandblasted and masked off, ready for paint, his starter, which was really disgusting, and so now it'll look like new. So yeah, these are about the last three things to go on the back of this car, and then like I said, my goal was to basically have everything done back here so that when the motor comes in and I take the long block and build it up into a complete motor, that pretty much when that goes in, then this car is you know, about done. I still need to mount some gauges under the steering wheel up there and get rid of that kind of ugly aftermarket gauge deal he's got going on there. But yeah, so anyway, almost done with the suspension and brakes on the back of this car, and then it'll just sit and wait patiently for its motor to go in. And incidentally, I probably mentioned before, all the powder coating is actually back for this car. So there's the fan and the heater boxes, and then all the fan shroud and all that stuff is in that big box there. So once the long block comes in, this thing's going to go together really quick. So that is pretty much what I did on this car today. Jacob came in for a little while, and he wrapped up some details on his car. He got his plug wires in and routed them nicely, and put his air cleaners on. They're just kind of sitting there right now. We'll need to pull them off when we prime the motor to get it started, but they're just sitting there because they look bitchin'. What else? Yeah, so he finished wiring the motor up, and I think he had a little bit more wiring to do under the front hood here. He wired up his flasher relay, turn signal flasher relay, and I think there might have been one or two other wires that he hooked up. So yeah, his electrical is pretty much done. Yeah, so that's what he did. So I think that is it for today, guys, other than messing around with my carburetor, one of the carburetors for the Porsche, and working most of the day on this 63. That's pretty much it. So that's it for this week, guys, although I may be in tomorrow, so there may be a Saturday edition of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So stay tuned. If I don't manage to do one, then I will see you guys on Monday, and I hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.